All right, so today I wanted to talk about my favorite stocks in the tech sector. There is quite a few to get through, so I'm just going to hop right into it. The first one, Taiwan Semiconductor, obviously the largest semiconductor company in the world. This company has a lot of pros and cons. The pro being it has the largest moat of all the, at least in my opinion, I think most people would probably agree with that in the semiconductor industry. The problem is that a lot of it is based in Taiwan, which again, there's a lot of geopolitical issues with China going on there. But I mean, on the positive end, compared to a lot of companies in the tech sector, it is not overly expensive, right? 17 PE. I think it's like a 6 price to sales. So it's probably fairly well. Honestly, I think it's a little undervalued here, to be quite honest. I mean, if you look year to date, this is a company that started out as high as 139 roughly. I think it actually got just over 140. I think anything under 100, honestly, if you don't have any exposure to this, would be a decent pickup in my opinion. But especially where it's at here, I think it's a good deal. Again, you're not going to make a crazy return on this company over the long run, but I mean, it does have a 2.2% dividend too, which is actually good for a company in the tech sector, right? And almost any sector, to be honest. But um, next one, and probably one of the most popular ones, if not the most popular, NVIDIA, again, another semiconductor company, very good company, like very, very good company. The only problem with NVIDIA is it is very expensive right now. I think it's got like a 14 price to sales, which is crazy expensive. I mean, year to date, the lowest this company's gone is about just below 150. Honestly, I don't even know if I would touch it there because again, it's just so expensive, right? It's so expensive. You got to get it under a 10 price to sales for it to be worth it. So you're looking at probably, I don't know, 120-ish, 130 maybe. That's where I would pick it up. I mean, this would be a decent company if you have the money to sell cash secured puts on. But yeah, to me, it's a very, very good company, but it's just too expensive right now. So again, if we do get a further crash from here, especially in the tech sector, I think that this would be a good company to pick up. But where it's at right now, it's still too expensive. Other companies to get into here. Um, this is another semiconductor one, ON Semiconductor. If you're looking for a pure American semiconductor play, this is one that isn't overly expensive. 17 PE again. Year to date, what are we looking at for this company? This company's gone down as low as 47 roughly, which is crazy. I don't even think it's actually a terrible price where it's at right now, although it did start the year almost exactly where it was at right now. So I honestly, I probably would look for it to come down a little bit before you picked it up, but it's not expensive where it's at right now. Again, the 1 year estimate 75 by analysts. That seems realistic. So again, like I say, very good company. It does have a lot of room to grow to $30 billion market cap, right? So it does have a lot of room to grow. This is kind of the problem with the Nvidias and the Taiwan semiconductors of the world is that, just how big can they get, right? Like they're already well into the hundreds of billions of dollars. I think they're both in the top 10 companies in the world. So a lot of these companies, they don't have, I mean, they got room to grow, but they don't have crazy room to grow, right? Um, so another good company. Other companies, AMAT, Applied Materials, they're kind of an indirect play on semiconductors. Let's see here. It provides manufacturing equipment, services, and software to the semiconductor display and related industries. So they are a little more diversified. So again, they're more the delay, the display and parts aspect of it, manufacturing equipment, right? So they're the company that provides the equipment to make them, right? Again, $83 billion market cap. They're not crazy expensive, right? Only a 12.9 PE, right? So they're not crazy expensive. Year to date, they are down a lot. They started the year at about 160 roughly. They got as high as about 167. They've came down as low as 86. I don't think that this will be a terrible buy where it's at, in my opinion. Like obviously, like I say, do your own research, but I don't think this would be a terrible buy where it's at, to be quite honest. And this is a company that has a decent moat, to be quite honest. Does have a 1% dividend, which again, for a tech company, not that bad, and it's probably going to be raising it over the long run. So again, I think another solid. If you're looking for a company you can buy right now, I don't think this will be a terrible buy. at least over the long run, right? There's definitely going to be some short-term volatility, but over the long run, this will be a solid company. Another one I like, Skyworks Solution. This is a play on 5G, although a lot of this, I mean, this is a company that started out the year at 160, so it's came down a lot as well. It's got as low as about 91. 2.37% dividend. So if you're looking for a company that's going to pay a dividend, another solid pick right here. 12.8 PE. So again, I think if anything, this company's underpriced where it's at right now. $16 billion market cap, so it still has a lot of room to grow. Again, all of the companies on here are companies that you're going to need to hold for a good at least 5 years, if not 10, 20 years for it to be worth it. If you're going to trade these companies, not that it can't work out, it definitely can work out, but these are all companies you're going to have to hold over the long run for it to be worth it, in my opinion, right? And I am more of a long-term investor, so if you're a short-term kind of guy, again, not exactly a Warren Buffett kind, because Warren Buffett's all value. I'm kind of in between, which I think is where it's at. Last company I wanted to bring up here, APH, Amphenol or Amphenol. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. This is kind of a unique company in that they're more on the electrical component side of it. Um, um, Manufactures and marks electrical, electronic, and fiber optic connectors, again, in the US and China and internationally. So again, this is a little bit different too. You're getting a little bit more of diversification, because when you look at tech, it's almost all like, software and semiconductors when the average person is buying those companies. And you should have some diversification in the Skyworks of the world. This company, and this company, again, 26 PE. So it's probably a hair overvalued, if I'm being honest. It has gone as low as about 62 this year. So I think if you could get it below 70, even in the mid 60s, I think that would be a solid deal. But again, it did start the year at 86. 1 year target estimate 84. So again, if you could get it below 70, I think it would be a solid deal. 1.03% dividend. So it is a company that is paying a dividend, which is another thing I like about any company, right? I mean, especially the more well-established ones. Like if you're not paying a dividend and growing it over the long run, I don't know what you're doing, right? Especially the really established ones. So again, those are my favorite companies in the tech sector. Again, the one thing I would mention is a lot of the companies in the tech sector, specifically, but you look at a lot of the communication services, consumer discretionary, a lot of these companies are very overvalued, right? Very overvalued, at least on a historical basis. And again, if we get a near-term crash, these are the companies that are going to get hit the hardest, right? This is the other problem with just blindly indexing, buying VOO or the SPY, is that they're over allocated to the tech, consumer discretionary, communication services companies, right? And you're going to get hit hard, and you're probably are going to get hit hard. I think if you look at the next decade, in my opinion, it's going to be energy is going to do very well. I think materials, specifically like the miners of the world, are going to do well. The people that are producing tangible goods and services, the stuff we really need, are going to be the companies that are going to do the best. You know, Tesla, some of these companies. I don't mean to pick on Tesla, but they may do good, but I think they're overvalued, right? I mean, if you look on a historical basis, they are overvalued. So that would be something that personally I would say is that if you're looking for long-term plays, you got to look at companies, in my opinion, that are we really going to need the stuff that they are producing, and is there increasing demand for it? Again, people say, oh, electric vehicles, but it's like the vast majority, if not more than Tesla's growth, is already priced in, right? Like it's already priced in. So again, just using that as an example, right? If you look at the tech sectors, a lot of these other companies too that really they're not even making any money, and they already have these massive valuations. So that's something I would be concerned about as well too. Is this company making money? Because you almost certainly shouldn't be buying a company if they're not making money, right? If you want to gamble, by all means gamble, but you just know you're gambling if they're not making money. So anyway, if you liked the video, hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.